Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, I'm not going to be filming in the forge today. That's because project is all done. Um, the original footage that I had of me making the handle sadly wasn't like anything that I could edit any of the stuff that went wrong with the footage, like someone interrupting it or some background noise or something like making it fall. So I couldn't get rid of that. So sadly, you're not going to be able to see me put together the handle, but sorry the lighting's not great. But as you've seen previously, how we did the handle before I did the stain. When I did the stain, I torched it, the whole exterior, and then I took some special handle like wood wax, and I covered it all entirely. I let it sit, and now it's like nice and smooth, very comfy. You can really feel it. Keep in mind, this is basically like a glorified boomerang. I mean, if I threw it, it'd probably work pretty well. I mean, maybe it'd be good for harvesting some stuff. But other than that, I don't really see much of a practical use out of this thing. It could still use some sharpening. Um, this is a final review or a final critique on like what would I have done better with this thing. First off, I probably wouldn't have done the curve right away, because like when I did this originally, I immediately bent it, not to this extent of curved, but it was a lot more proper looking. And then I started working on the edge, and I feel like after I did that, it kind of caused the metal to just bend, considering I was working on one singular edge, and then it just like formed like that. So next time, if I'm doing it similar to this, I'm gonna try and do the edge and then get the bend going, and then not do it as extremely as I did with this one. I mean, it's not super practical in any sort of way. If you're gonna really be hitting anything, you're gonna be hitting it here, than up here, and even then, like you really have to go all the way through. You gotta like really bend your wrist. So it may not work to the best level, but I'm still glad that I got the sword finished. I must say I feel pretty proud in it. Especially the handle. I'm very proud of the handle. I don't know if you guys got a better look, but I'm showing it to you again. All right. May not be the most even, but dang, this is my first time doing a wooden handle. I quite like it. I think I should try and do it like this again. Maybe next time I'll do it a bit better, get my measurements right, uh, and make the sword look a bit prettier. I mean, the point on this thing is still pretty gnarly, right? Pretty bad. That would like really hurt. If you were in a zombie apocalypse, you would want to rely on this part to brain those suckers just like right there, right in the skull. But honestly, with my critique, probably would have went with a different metal. I feel like the metal that I went with was a bit too thin, so it wouldn't make the best. What's the word? Spine. Yeah, it wouldn't make the best spine. This part, the very backbone of it. So I probably should have went with a thicker metal. I did end up burning out some of the carbon towards the bottom part of it. If you see yeah, you see those scorch marks along the edge. That's the carbon being burnt out, making it a lot more brittle. Sadly, while I was grinding on this thing with the angle grinder, it would just I went a bit too hard towards the lower part and ended up burning out the carbon, making the metal pretty brittle. That's why you can see a really big weird how it goes from this and then big peak there. That's all because while I was burning it out with the angle grinder, once when all the carbon got removed and such, it chipped badly, like really really badly, and I was forced to like deal with it. I mean, There's a lot of things I probably would have done differently with this, but I'm still very proud with the end product. It may not be practical, it may not be even useful, but it's nice as a decorative piece. Honestly, I am. If I do another video like this with another sword, which I might pretty soon. Right now I got a product or not product. Plan. I'm gonna try and make my own cloak out of this here flannel. It's not. It's not something that you'd want to wear when it's cold out because it's kind of a thin fabric, but it's still nice and soft, both in and out. That way, it's not like one side soft. You have to worry about lining it with a different kind of fabric. Once when I get that taken care of, I'm gonna forge a brooch. And for those of you who don't know what a brooch is, basically, so you got your cloak. Okay, you have no way to pin it on. Let's say you have your brooch. It's like a U, a U shaped, uh, basically an O. I guess I should really say a C. Sorry. So a C shaped ring, pretty decently large, with like a pin wrapped around on the inside of it. So here's your C, and then you have a pin coming out this way, and it can be moved up and down, while it's still pointing outwards. So you got your cloak, you got the brooch, and so you stick it through both ends with the needle, and then you stick the needle outwards, and then you rotate it. That way the needle's on the outside, and then you just let go, and it's like locked in place. I mean, that's the general idea of it. I'm gonna try and make one of those. I'm probably not gonna film myself sewing because I haven't sewed in years. It's been a really long time. Um, Probably won't be really interesting, but I feel like the brooch would be a lot more interesting. But if I were to make another sword again, either it'd be like a straight sword or a rapier, which would be pretty cool, but honestly not my kind of style. Rapier is pretty thin, like really thin, and not like broad. And I want something big because big swords are pretty cool. I think might make myself like a. I don't know about a falchion, however you say it, falchion, falcon, falchion. Super confusing. But like, let's say this was straight, okay, and as you can see with the point, you keep that. This is straight, and then it gets like thicker with the blade, like wider. Sorry, it's kind of difficult to explain. Straight up and down, still has the point and like the curve, but just everything else towards the top just keeps getting like longer, more outstretched, and then it's basically like that. I think making one of those would be pretty cool, actually. I'd like to make one of the hand guards from that. Originally, I planned on not doing a full tang with this thing. I was gonna cut the metal into kind of like an arrowed shape, and then I was gonna like keep this wood or find a different piece and then just like drill a hole towards the middle and then burn it in. You like torch the metal piece, you stick it in, so that way it gets like fitted naturally through the superheated metal. Uh, and then I was going to take the head of a railroad spike and I was going to turn it into the handguard, which would go up here, which I still think would be a cool idea for a different sword. But you can't exactly do a handguard the way I was planning on doing it with a full tang, which was how we did our handle. Full tang is keeping all that metal. You can see it right in between. But I probably would have done some more grinding on it too, as you can see with the black spots. That's also kind of because the metal's a bit thinner, and my anvil isn't at the height that I'd like it. I don't have anything that I can keep it towards the height that I want. Because when you're blacksmithing, you want the anvil to be like where towards the bottom of my fingertips when they're resting at my side. That's the general idea where you want it to be. Maybe a bit higher, so it's more comfortable and you're like not hurting your back like that. But that's part of the reason why there's some serious indents in it because I'm probably just hitting it at a wrong angle. Um, I definitely should have grinded it out a bit more. I could still sharpen it. I just don't want to do it with the angle grinder because I don't want to burn out more carbon towards the edge and then make it chip, and then I'll have to like redo the edge entirely again, and it's just like a whole awful process, just a nightmare. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching my final critique on the sword. I believe this is part 6. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to take a look. But thank you guys for watching this series. I'll be starting a new one at some point. Sorry it's been a while since I've uploaded. Been a bit busy. But thank you for watching. Have a great day.